Welcome to another My Mind MashUps deep dive, where we unravel mysteries, spark curiosity, and make sense of complex ideas together. Today, we're tackling something I think a lot of us feel, maybe without quite knowing why. It's this fundamental professional paradox. Why do we sometimes feel drained, even miserable, doing work we're actually really good at? Like highly skilled, successful people hitting a wall.
It's such a common thing, isn't it? That feeling where, yeah, the job's fine, you're competent, but some tasks just, they feel like wading through mud.
Exactly. By 3 p.m., you're just wiped.
And what we're looking at today suggests this isn't necessarily burnout in the way we usually think about it. It's more about a deep misalignment.
Okay, misalignment. And to help us understand that, we're diving into Patrick Lencioni's framework, the 6 types of working genius. It's relatively recent, from around 2020.
That's right. And it gives us this really practical language, a way to pinpoint where we get our energy at work versus, well, where it just gets sucked away.
So what's the core idea? How does it work?
It's actually wonderfully simple at its heart. Lencioni says each of us has 2 specific working geniuses. These are the things that genuinely give us energy and joy when we do them.
Okay, 2 geniuses, got it.
Then 2 working competencies. These are tasks we can do, often quite well, but they take a lot more mental effort. They're draining.
Right, you can do them, but you don't love them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, 2 working frustrations. These are the activities that honestly just lead to misery, procrastination, and eventually burnout if you're stuck doing them too often.
Wow, so it's a 2-2-2 split. Genius, competency, frustration.
Precisely.
And where did this idea even come from? You mentioned Lencioni.
Yeah, it's quite personal, actually. He spent ages studying teams, right?
Yeah.
But he noticed this in himself. He, loved the buzz of leading a big webinar. High energy.
Totally. But then the follow-up, just debriefing his team afterwards, he felt completely drained. Irritable, even.
Interesting. The actual webinar was fine, but the simple follow-up wasn't? Right. And he realized, hang on, I'm good at managing my team. I'm successful. It wasn't about competence. It was about where his natural, innate energy came from versus the demands of the task.
So it wasn't inability, it was misalignment with his genius.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
He saw it elsewhere too. Successful directors getting, quote, grumpy in seasons of growth. Why? Because the nature of their work shifted, pulling them away from what naturally energized them. They were winning, but they felt awful.
And I guess the usual advice is just suck it up, that's the job.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Lencioni argues that's just a colossal waste of human potential. We don't have to accept that misery.
Okay, so our mission today then is to give everyone listening the tools, the language from this framework to help you spot your energy zones.
Yeah, so you can maybe stop forcing yourself through those draining tasks quite so much, find more fulfillment, and actually work better with others. This idea of radical interdependence.
Radical interdependence?
Oh.
Sounds intriguing. We'll definitely unpack that. We want to show you how work actually flows and where you fit best.
It can make a huge difference, not just at work, but maybe even at home too.
Absolutely. And hey, if you're already finding this interesting, if it's sparking something for you, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us keep making content that makes you think. All right, let's get into the framework itself. The 6 types of working genius. Lencioni uses this mnemonic WIDG.
Yes, WIDGEE. It's not just random letters. It represents 6 fundamental activities that have to happen in sequence for pretty much any project or piece of work to get done successfully, from the very start to the very end.
A universal workflow, basically.
That's a great way to put it. And these 6 geniuses, these steps, fall into 3 main phases: ideation, activation, and implementation.
Okay, ideation, activation, implementation. Makes sense.
And the crucial point Lencioni makes is that a team needs all 6 of these actives somewhere within it. But forcing one person to try and cover all 6, that's like a recipe for disaster, or at least exhaustion.
Right. So let's start at the beginning. Phase 1, ideation. That involves W and I.
Correct. W stands for wonder. This is the genius of inquisitiveness. These are the folks who are always asking the big why questions. Why do we do it this way? Couldn't this whole process be better?
The questioners, the challengers of the status quo.
Exactly. They kick things off by spotting unmet needs or seeing potential improvements that others might miss. They see the what if.
Okay, so wonder starts the fire. What's I?
I is for invention. This is the creativity engine. The inventor takes those sometimes abstract questions from the wonderer and starts generating concrete, original ideas and solutions. They love building something totally new from scratch.
So wonder asks the question, invention proposes an answer.
Precisely. And the order here is critical. Lencioni warns that so many teams skip wonder, they jump straight into invention mode solving problems.
That maybe weren't the right problems to begin with.
You got it. They end up with brilliant solutions to things nobody actually needed fixing. That wonder genius provides the essential grounding. It prevents wasted effort down the line.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So after ideation, wonder, and invention, we move to the next phase.
Phase 2, activation. This is about getting the idea moving. It involves D and G.
D and G. Let's start with D.
D is for discernment. This is the genius of shrewd judgment. Intuition backed by pattern recognition and logic. Discerners are the ones who vet the inventor's exciting new idea.
The reality check.
Absolutely. They look at it and go, okay, but what about this potential pitfall? Or does this actually align with our resources? They use gut feel, data, experience a mix of everything to assess viability. They filter out the enthusiastic dead ends.
Essential, even if maybe not always popular with the inventor.
Sometimes yes.
Yeah.
But crucial. Once an idea passes the discerner's sniff test, then you need galvanizing.
Galvanizing. Sounds energetic.
It is. This is the genius of rallying the troops. Inspiring people, communicating the vision, getting everyone excited and organized to actually do something about the idea that's just been approved.
To build momentum.
The cheerleader, the mobilizer. Kinda, yeah. Without that galvanizing spark, even the best, most well-vetted idea can just sit there, gathering dust on a whiteboard.
Right. Okay, so ideation, W-I, activation, D-G. What's the final phase?
Phase 3, implementation, getting it done. This brings us to E and T.
E and T, the home stretch.
Exactly. E stands for enablement. This is the genius of service and support. These are the people who get genuine satisfaction from helping others succeed. They anticipate needs, clear obstacles, provide resources, coordinate efforts smoothly.
They make it possible for the team to execute.
Perfectly put. They love setting things up so the execution can flow. Think logistics, support, making sure everyone has what they need. Their joy comes from helping the team function well.
Okay, and the final letter, T.
Key is for tenacity. These are the finishers. The genius of execution and follow-through. Tenacity is about driving tasks over the finish line with diligence, high standards, and a real commitment to completion.
The ones who make sure it actually gets done and done well.
Yes. They hate leaving things unfinished. They push through the final hurdles. Without tenacity, brilliant projects might just fizzle out at the 90% mark. They ensure the result matches the initial vision.
Wow. Why-jit wonder, invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement, tenacity. That covers a lot of ground.
It really does map the entire life cycle of work.
But you said there's another layer to this, something about disruptors and responders.
Yes. This adds a really interesting psychological dimension. Lencioni groups these 6 geniuses into 2 broader categories based on the kind of energy they bring. So you have the disruptive geniuses, invention, I, galvanizing, G, and tenacity, T. Think about them. They drive things forward, they challenge, they push for action or completion. They tend to be focused outward on making change happen.
I, G, T, the drivers. Makes sense. What about the others?
The others, wonder, W, discernment, D, and enablement, E, are the responsive geniuses. They provide structure, feedback, support, assessment. They're often focused more on ensuring the quality, viability, and smooth functioning of the work.
WDE, the structure and support crew.
Sort of, yeah. And understanding this dynamic is key because it reframes conflict. That tension you might see between, say, a big picture inventor disruptor and a detail-focused discerner responder.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Lencioni argues it's not a personality clash, it's actually a necessary tension. The team needs the disruptive push to innovate and move, but it equally needs the responsive checking and structuring to avoid chaos or fatal flaws.
So it's about leveraging that tension, not eliminating it.
Exactly. Healthy teams find harmony by respecting and utilizing both kinds of energy. It's about complementary gifts, not conflict.
This is really clicking for me, and I bet for a lot of listeners too. Just a reminder, folks, if this is resonating, please do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive. Okay, we've got the YGG deep model, the disruptor-responder dynamic. Now let's talk about why this matters so much on a personal level, the fulfillment aspect.
Right, because when you're operating in your zone of genius, it feels fundamentally different. It actually connects really strongly to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's work on flow.
Ah, flow state. Yeah, I know that feeling. When you're totally absorbed, time disappears.
Exactly. That's what happens when you're engaged in tasks that align with your working genius. You're not forcing it, you're immersed. Performance peaks, and you're doing it almost for the sheer joy of the activity itself.
And there's actual brain science behind this, right? It's not just a feeling.
Oh, definitely. Neuroscience shows that when you're in that flow state, engaged in your genius work, your brain's reward circuits light up. The dopaminergic system gets activated.
Dopamine, the feel-good chemical.
Right. It creates this positive feedback loop. So working in your genius doesn't just not drain you, it actively feeds you energy, boosts your mood, makes you more resilient. You actually want to do it again.
Which is the polar opposite of how you feel doing those frustration tasks.
Totally. And that brings us to what Lencioni calls the competency trap. This is maybe the most important danger for high performers.
The competency trap. Explain that.
It's the situation where you are genuinely skilled, competent at a task. Maybe you learned it, got trained, you get good results. But if that task falls into your working frustration zone, then every time you do it, even though you can, you have to expend a massive amount of cognitive energy, willpower, just sheer effort to push through it.
So wait, are you saying I should actually avoid doing things I'm good at if I don't enjoy them?
Yeah.
That feels counterintuitive. Everything tells us to build on our skills.
It does challenge that traditional advice, doesn't it? The idea that we should just power through or improve our weaknesses.
Yeah.
This framework says, no, recognize what drains you, even if you're competent at it.
Give me an example.
Okay, say your genius is wonder and invention, but enablement is a frustration. You might still be a perfectly competent project manager.
Yeah.
You can create the Gantt charts, coordinate the logistics.
Yeah, and probably get praise for being organized.
Right. But internally, every single time you have to do that detailed coordination work, it feels like climbing a mountain. You're accumulating this huge cognitive debt. And that debt is what leads to stress and burnout, even if you look successful on the outside.
You mentioned stress data earlier. Is there evidence linking this misalignment to actual stress levels?
There is. It's pretty stark, actually. Lencioni often points to Gallup research, huge studies showing that employees who feel encouraged to use their natural talents, their strengths, that we're calling their geniuses, report dramatically lower stress. In one big study, only about 1% of those people reported feeling high stress on a regular basis.
1%. Compared to what for others?
Compared to those in roles that felt misaligned, constantly working against their grain, doing those competency frustration tasks. For them, the high stress figure jumped to something like 43%.
Wow, 1% versus 43%.
Yeah.
Huge.
It really is. It tells us that the anxiety, the dread, the exhaustion so many people feel isn't necessarily because the job is objectively bad. It's often because of that constant draining effort required to perform tasks that just don't light up their natural energy pathways.
And knowing this offers a kind of psychological relief, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If you identify, say, tenacity as a frustration, you can stop beating yourself up for procrastinating on finishing reports. You can say, okay, I'm not lazy. This specific activity just depletes my battery, and maybe I need to structure things differently or ask for help.
It shifts it from a personal failing to a structural issue?
Exactly. Takes away the guilt and shame and opens the door to finding better ways to work, often collaboratively.
Okay, this is making so much sense. So let's talk practical application. How do people actually use this? In teams, maybe even at home?
Yeah, let's get practical. One of the most powerful tools Lencioni advocates is creating a team map.
A team map? What's that?
It's basically a visual chart where everyone on the team openly shares their two working geniuses and their two working frustrations. You make it visible.
Whoa, okay. So everyone knows what energizes and drains everyone else.
Yep. And the impact is often immediate. It builds trust, reduces judgment, because now you understand why someone might struggle with a certain task or why someone else lights up doing it.
So how does that change how work gets assigned?
Well, instead of just delegating based on role or who has capacity, a manager or team lead can think, okay, for this specific task, say brainstorming a new marketing campaign, who has wonder and invention as a genius? Let's tap into their energy for this phase.
Assigning work based on energy, not just skill.
Precisely. Then, when it's time to meticulously plan the rollout, you look for the enablement and tenacity geniuses. It's about aligning the task with the person who will find inherent joy and energy in doing it. Accountability shifts towards leveraging genius.
And you mentioned meetings earlier. How does YJIT help with the dreaded meeting overload?
Oh, hugely. Think about typical meetings they try to cram everything in. Brainstorming, decision-making, planning updates, all mixed together.
Yeah, and different people get frustrated at different points. The get it done people hate the let's explore more phase.
Exactly. So using Weejit, you structure meetings by phase. You might have a dedicated Wonder Invention session purely for creative brainstorming. No decisions allowed. Then a separate discernment meeting where you vet those ideas critically, and maybe different check-ins focused on Enablement, Tenacity for implementation progress.
So people participate when their genius is most needed.
Right. It makes meetings shorter, more focused, and much less frustrating because people are engaged in the type of thinking that energizes them. Much more efficient.
This isn't just for work teams, though, is it? The sources mentioned it helps in relationships, too.
Oh yeah, big time. Think about couples managing household projects, or even just planning a vacation. You often see classic genius clashes.
Like what?
Well, imagine one partner has high first wonder. Wonder they want to explore all the potential destinations, dream about possibilities, keep options open.
And the other partner?
Maybe the other partner has high tenacity. They just want to make a decision, book the flights, get the itinerary locked down. No.
I can see the conflict there. One feels rushed, the other feels stalled.
Exactly. The tenacity person sees wonder as procrastination. The wonder person sees tenacity as shutting down creativity. But with this framework, they can reframe it. They can see, okay, your wonder is valuable for ensuring we pick somewhere great. My tenacity is valuable for making sure we actually go.
It changes criticism into appreciation for a complementary skill, like seeing your partner's discernment about the budget not as negativity, but as a gift protecting your finances.
Precisely. It builds understanding and appreciation for differences, reducing friction.
Okay, so for listeners who are thinking, this sounds great, how do I figure out my geniuses? What are the practical steps, maybe without doing the official assessment?
Lencioni offers a few really good self-reflection prompts. The first is what he calls an energy audit.
Energy audit. Sounds simple enough.
It is. Just pay attention for a week or so. What tasks make time fly? What leaves you feeling buzzed and energized afterwards? Make a note. And conversely, what tasks do you dread starting? Which ones make you procrastinate or leave you feeling totally drained, even if they didn't take long?
That contrast should be pretty revealing.
It really is. It points directly towards your genius and frustration zones. Another way is to think about your peak and pit moments.
Peak and pit.
Yeah. Reflect on times you felt truly alive and engaged at work, your proudest moments. What specific kind of work were you doing? Was it inventing something new? Rallying a team? Finishing a tough project? That points to your genius.
And the pits.
Those moments of deep frustration, burnout, or feeling totally out of your depth. What tasks were consistently present during those times? That probably signals a competency you find draining or an outright frustration.
Makes sense. Any other ways?
One more quick one. Ask trusted colleagues, people who know you well. What do they always seem to come to you for? If multiple people say, you're always the one who sees potential problems before anyone else, that might be discernment. If they say, you just know how to get people excited about an idea, that sounds like galvanizing.
Getting that outside perspective can be really helpful.
Definitely. Because sometimes we overlook our own geniuses. They feel so natural, we assume everyone finds them easy.
So once you have a sense of your geniuses and frustrations, the goal isn't necessarily to fix the frustration.
No, not at all. That's the radical shift. This whole exploration leads back to that concept we mentioned, radical interdependence.
Okay, explain that again.
It means recognizing that your frustrations aren't failings you need to shore up. Trying to get better at something that fundamentally drains you is exhausting and often fruitless. Instead, those frustrations are signals. They are cues for collaboration. They're your natural handoff points.
Handoff points, I like that. So find someone whose genius is your frustration.
Exactly. The key isn't becoming a superhero who could do all 6 things brilliantly. It's about structuring your work, your team, even aspects of your life, so that everyone spends most of their time operating in their zones of genius and joy. You lean on others for the parts that drain you.
Like that quote you mentioned.
Yeah, don't expect a dolphin to climb a tree. Know what you're built for. Find others who are built differently and leverage those complementary strengths. That's where collective energy and fulfillment really come from.
You know, at My Mind MashUps, every deep dive aims to spark curiosity, challenge some assumptions, and hopefully expand understanding. And I feel like today's definitely hit all 3.
It's powerful stuff, isn't it?
It really is, because understanding your working genius isn't just about productivity. It's about doing more of what actually lights you up, feeling less guilt about the things that drain you, and crucially, learning how to partner better with people who bring those different essential gifts to the table.
It fundamentally reframes why we sometimes feel stuck or disengaged. Often, it's not you, it's not even the job. It's the structural mismatch between your innate energy and the tasks you're being asked to do. Fix that alignment, and things can change dramatically.
Well said. If this conversation sparked something for you, please do. Like, comment, and subscribe to hear more My Mind MashUps deep dives. We'd love to have you with us.
And you can find My Mind MashUps pretty much everywhere you get your audio content. Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube.
We really want to hear from you too. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What are your potential geniuses? Did this resonate? Your perspective could genuinely shape where we go next.
Definitely. And maybe we can leave you with a final thought to mull over, something based on the Widgeted sequence.
Go for it.
If you were to apply that WIDGET, not just to a big work project, but maybe to your daily life, your personal goals, even managing your household, which one of those 6 stages do you think you most consistently skip or rush through?
That's a tough question. Do I skip wonder and just jump into doing? Or maybe I skip tenacity and leave things unfinished?
Exactly. Think about it. What might that habitual omission be costing you? Not just in terms of getting things done efficiently, but in your overall sense of personal fulfillment and flow.